From finally revealing why he's decided to call it quits as a lightweight, to eyeing Davis as the best fighter to end this chapter with, Devin Haney might be moving up the scales pretty soon. But the dream has some unfinished business he needs to take care of first. He says only one thing can keep him at 135. Well, technically two things. And that's a fight against either Shakur Stevenson or Gervonta Tank Davis. Haney probably thinks it'll be the best way to end his lightweight career, and I agree. I mean, what better way to go out than at the very top of the weight class, right? But he's already the best. The American boxer's currently enjoying the view from the very top of the Transnational Boxing Rankings board. Tank's nearing in at third, and while Stevenson doesn't have his lightweight rankings in just yet, it's safe to say he'll probably be a dominant force as a lightweight, as he was a super featherweight. Stevenson actually called on Haney for a bout himself. The former world champion took on Japan's Shinichiro Yoshino in his first lightweight bout, effectively taking down Yoshino with a technical knockout in the 6th round. Davis I get, but why is Haney calling on Stevenson for his last hurrah as a lightweight? Okay, so Shakur's just starting out his lightweight career, and I get it. What better way to make a lasting first impression than take on the champion himself, right? But how does Stevenson compare to Davis? He doesn't, honestly. Davis is a decorated lightweight champion, and Stevenson only has the potential to become one himself. But after his tremendous bout against Yoshino, he set off all kinds of alarms for the lightweight fighters everywhere. When ESPN caught up with Stevenson after his win, asking him if he was ready to take on either Haney or Vasily Lomachenko, depending on who won their May 20th match, Stevenson preemptively stated that he was ready to take on Haney. Now, Lomachenko isn't really the sort of guy you'd bet against, but it's Haney we're talking about, so you best believe he's everyone's top pick. This naturally brings up the question, why is the Dream moving up a weight class at all? That's a pretty fair question. I wanted to know too. When Haney was asked about it, he just said that it had been a long time coming. The American boxer admitted that he'd grown somewhat tired of being at 135, a place he'd comfortably been since he was 16 years old. So Haney's always been a lightweight, but now he says that his body's evolving. He's finding it much harder to make 135 and feels like it's not his best interest to cut weight anymore. If you're worried about Haney possibly ending his boxing career if he goes up in weight, that'd be pretty valid too. But don't worry, the boxer assured everyone that he planned on going up as safely and reasonably as he can. He even gave a shout out to his nutritionist for the daunting task they had ahead. Honestly though, everything's speculative for now. It all depends on how his fight against Vasily Lomachenko goes. I'd call this the biggest fight of Haney's career, and I wouldn't be the only one. The American boxer's enjoyed quite a bit of fame recently. The guy ended George Kambosos twice in the ring. He's the unified champ across 4 divisions, and he's currently the guy everyone wants to take on. Sure, Haney might have his sights set on Davis or Stevenson for when the time's right, but for now, all he's focused on is obliterating Lomachenko. May 20th's fight is scheduled to take place at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. They're calling it Checkmate. Pretty fitting, I know. While the fight was officially announced in March 2023, rumor has it the negotiations were going on since late 2022. It was about everyone wanted to see happen, trending on Twitter, and all any analyst and sports commentator could talk about. Basically, it was on everyone's mind, but the road to checkmate hasn't been easy. Haney's actually been laying on accusations against Lomachenko. It started out in 2019. Lomachenko defeated Luke Campbell to win the vacant WBC title. Meanwhile, Haney defeated Zaur Abdullayev and won the WBC interim title, making him the WBC mandatory challenger. The two should have gone up against one another in a few weeks then, right? According to the American boxer, Lomachenko got off on a technicality. Well, he actually said that the Ukrainian fighter was ducking him, because you see, despite winning the vacant title, Lomachenko held belts with other sanctioning bodies. So instead of being the WBC title holder, he opted to be named the franchise champion. This set the tone for what would be years of animosity between him and Haney came at him hard. In fact, he was even part of a controversy back in 2022 when Haney was accused of racism. That's right, good guy Haney came under fire in 2020 when he took the trash talking a bit too far. While talking about his upcoming bout against the Ukrainian, Haney allegedly stated that there was no way he'd ever lose to a white boy. He actually said that if Lomachenko came at him swinging 10 times, he'd just beat him up 10 times harder. Was the white boy comment really necessary? A lot of people didn't think so. Haney acknowledged that people were upset and clarified that he wasn't being racist, but never actually used the words, "I'm sorry." Wouldn't be a good look for the guy who vowed to defeat the former champion, now would it? But things eventually moved forward, but not without more controversy. This time, though, I don't think it'd be fair to blame either one of the two. Was Lomachenko possibly ducking Haney? Was Haney being racist? I'll let you decide on those two. But when the Ukrainian fighter was called to serve in 2022 during his country's ongoing conflict against Russia, Lomachenko took a sabbatical. In the meantime, Haney struck a deal with Kambosos, the unified lightweight champion, to fight for the undisputed championship. The highly contested bout ended with Kambosos on the floor, not once, but twice. The American boxer thus became the first undisputed lightweight champion since Pernell Whitaker. Now, Lomachenko's back, and he had to schedule a match against Haney. But wait, there's still more. Haney even accused Top Rank of staging the whole thing. You might think that the American fighter is out of line for accusing the promotion of deliberately working against him and ensuring that Lomachenko ends up winning. But hey, let's just listen to what he has to say, right? So Haney calls their fight one where both contenders have something to prove. He said that the Ukrainian fighter needs to prove he still has what it takes, and as for himself, the 24-year-old needs to prove that he is better than everyone else in the world of boxing. Cocky? Maybe. Ambitious? For sure. But here's where things get twisted. Haney accused Top Rank of favoring Lomachenko. How? Well, he told the press that he asked the promotion to schedule their bout before Ramadan. For those of you who don't know, Ramadan's the Islamic holy month when Muslims fast. Haney's a practicing Muslim, and he said that he made it clear to Top Rank that he'd miss out on training camp if the fight was scheduled immediately after the holy month. The American fighter had been gunning for the highly contested fight to be scheduled in either late February or early March. Instead, he said that Top Rank's insisting on having the match the day after the Ramadan holidays end. Could they be up to something? Don't shoot the messenger here, but despite all that controversy, I'd say that Haney actually has quite a bit of admiration for Lomachenko. He called him the best after all. I know it almost sounds counterintuitive to call the guy you've repeatedly been saying you'd destroy one of the best fighters there's ever been, right? But Haney did just that. He said that Lomachenko is probably one of the best guys out there. Admittedly, Haney said he's the best on paper, but still. He also said that he'd been eyeing the Ukrainian fighter for 4 years now. Ever since he'd refused to take him on for the WBC title defense, his loss according to the American. Because now, he's coming at him as a stronger and better boxer. And once he defeats the former pound-for-pound champion, Haney can finally begin to move up. Why burn out in the same division when you can establish a legacy, right? That's probably what the American's thinking. And while his fight against Lomachenko should prove he's the best there ever is, it's a matter of principle for Haney, really. To continue on just a little bit longer and take on Davis and Stevenson. Davis, because of the obvious, the guy's one of the best there's ever been. Like Lomachenko, is known for once being the best, past tense. And Davis is probably one of the best on the active lightweight roster. Then there's Stevenson, of course, who's apparently been training alongside Haney since they were teens. And now, with him finally being in his weight class, Haney probably thinks it's only fair the guy gets a shot at a match against him before he moves up. So yeah, it's happening. It could happen later if Davis and Stevenson were to take him on. So from why Haney sees Davis and Stevenson as the best fighters to end his lightweight career with, to the reason why he's deciding to call it quits as a lightweight. This was everything on Devin Haney's last hurrah as a lightweight boxer.